Hello, and welcome back to OK Karma, where as always, I share with you some of the best stories that I find online, and it's always read to you by an actual human. Today, we're going to be virtually power washing this backyard and jumping back into the Am I the Asshole subreddit, starting with a story titled AITA for installing a camera in my room to see if my mom is lying to me by King Jake 200. And it says, I, a 19-year-old male, and my mom, a 49-year-old female, have had numerous fights in the past few weeks, most of which are on the same topic, that being her going into my room and looking around without me knowing. Basically, every time I would leave the house for work or anything else, I would always leave my door fully closed, but would come back to it open. Also, I would be incredibly positive that certain things had been moved around or straight up gone. So naturally, I would ask my mom if she had gone into my room. She would always say no. Now, maybe the first couple times I could play it off as me forgetting to close my bedroom door, but once it started happening multiple times a week, I knew that wasn't the case. So yesterday I went out and bought one of those Bluetooth surveillance cameras. At this point, I was positive she was going in my room behind my back and then lying to me about it. I just wanted proof because I knew this would continue happening otherwise. This morning, before I left for work, I made sure the camera was working, closed my bedroom door completely, and then headed out. At around midday, I got a notification on my phone that the camera had detected some motion, so I pulled it up to view the recording. Wouldn't you know it, there was my mom going through my drawers, my closet, and my desk. She was even grabbing certain things and tossing them out into the hallway. I closed the video feed seething, making sure that I saved it first and planned to confront her first thing when I was done with my shift. When I got home, I immediately asked her if she had gone into my room. She said no. I responded by pulling up the video and holding my phone in front of me so that she could see it. Instead of apologizing, she exploded. She screamed at me for installing a camera in her house without her permission. I responded by demanding an explanation for her going into my room. She insisted that she had a right to as my mother. She began questioning certain things in my room, to which I said it was none of her business. At this point, I was done. I stormed off and I went back to my room. Within the hour, my phone started blowing up with messages from family all siding with my mom, telling me that I'm insane for putting up a camera. I kid you not, the entire family is on my mom's side except for my dad. Unfortunately, my dad can't stop this himself, as my parents split up a year ago, and he isn't allowed in my mom's house. I swear I'm doing nothing wrong here, like it's my only space in the house where I keep my things, relax, and do my own stuff. Or am I just completely out of my mind? Am I the asshole? Success Soggy in the comments says, don't give her notice. Slowly move the most important things out, but move smaller stuff out as soon as possible. Get any papers you might need that are there, social security number card, birth certificate, passport, banking info. If she's on a bank account, change accounts and or banks. You might not be able to close an account with her, but you can take out almost all the money. Freeze your credit. You can do that for free. Do that now before you make any moves. If you keep recording, don't tell her. Save them. And when you do move, take only what is yours. What you can prove is yours. Only furniture that you bought for yourself, etc. Puzzle-Headed Alarm says, ask her what she's looking for. It seems like she's trying to find something. And Downward Note says, not the asshole. Maybe you could leave her lots of interesting notes in your drawers like, hi mom, sorry the bong's not in here. I moved it. Mom, if you're looking for the rubbers, I carry them with me. Mom, can I go through your drawers later? And this is one of those stories that you hear where you wonder if the OP is leaving out some important information, because it definitely sounds like the mom is looking for something specific, and for him to have no idea what that is does seem kind of odd, especially if she was never doing this until recently. Not the asshole for the camera, but it is her house, and someone isn't being completely honest about something. Our next story is titled, Would I Be the Asshole for Telling My Client That I Used to Date Her Husband by WestAd1573. And it says, I, a 28-year-old female, work at a hair salon and have a client who is 29-year-old female. She first started coming here in November and has been my new regular. The first time she came in, she said it was funny that me and her daughter have the exact same name, especially since it's an older, uncommon name, and I thought it was nice. She told me that she had a husband, a 29-year-old male, which I didn't really care about, to be honest. A few months later, she made an appointment and she told me a bit about her husband. She told me that her husband's name was John, fake name, and that they met about 6 years ago at work and ended up getting married 3.5 years ago. We ended up talking some more, and she revealed that he went to XY University, which was the same university that I went to before I dropped out. As she kept on talking, I realized that John was insanely similar to my ex-boyfriend. However, I thought it was just a coincidence since I still live in the area that I went to university to. John is a common name and people can have similar interests. Fast forward to last week, she made another appointment and this time she showed me her vacation photos that had John in it. I instantly recognized him but didn't say anything and just did her hair. Honestly, I don't know what to think, but I'm a little weirded out. We ended on extremely bad terms, so it was a little weird to find out that his daughter had the same name as me, his ex-girlfriend. While I don't see anything wrong with having my ex's wife as a client, I do feel a little odd about the whole situation. I don't want to tell her and act as if I'm the crazy ex-girlfriend and trying to ruin their relationship, but I do feel like she should know. If I was in her shoes, I would want to know. I'm not sure what to do. Should I stay quiet and let it be or tell her? She's a genuinely kind and sweet person and I don't want her to get hurt over nothing. Would I be the asshole if I told her? An agnostic optimist in the comments says, you would be. Not your business. Nothing good can come of it. Just be professional. Justice says, not the asshole. I'm sorry, but you have to tell her. Not just because anyone in her shoes would want to know and deserves to know, but also because you're in a position of trust with her. Everyone knows that girls tell stories to their hairdressers. She essentially confides in you with her understanding that you are a stranger with no ties to her family or life. And if she ever finds out that you are the ex and didn't tell her, she's going to lose it on you because at this point, she's aware that she's shown you his pictures. So she will realize that you knew from that point on and didn't tell her. She will feel betrayed. I would just text her or email her and say, hey, I love having you as a client and this doesn't bother me at all, but I realized that when you showed me your vacation pictures that I dated your husband in college. Not a big deal, no weird feelings or anything, but I know that I would want to know that about the person doing my hair. If you don't care, I'd love to still be your hairdresser. If not, no worries. Just didn't want to hide anything from you. But Mission Wolf says also that you would be the asshole. You are projecting your unnecessarily, quote, weirded out emotions onto her. She does not need to know that her daughter has the same name as someone who had a troubled relationship with her husband. It doesn't mean anything. A person can continue liking a hobby, a name, a sports team, etc. long after they've ceased contact with the person who introduced them to those things. I think that I fall somewhere in the middle on this one. I can see why she would want to tell her to hopefully avoid things crashing down in the future if her client found out, but also that would most likely not happen, right? I mean, unless the husband went to a hair appointment with her, which I guess is possible, and if the breakup was messy, he would probably recognize her and that would suck. This is a tough one, but I don't think OP is an asshole either way, but definitely a tough one. And our final story today is titled, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Wife Forget It and Going Out by Myself for My Birthday instead of going to her fancy dinner reservation by Reality 111. And it says, this has been an ongoing issue and it came to a head yesterday. My wife is a planner. It is extremely hard for her to just go with the flow. If we're going to do something, she needs all the details. She does have OCD. I forgot to include that. That is why she's such a planner. A while ago, she asked what I wanted to do for my birthday. I've been burnt out from work, so I just told her I just want to go to a chain restaurant around here on my day. Just a chill night out. I don't want to get dressed up or anything like that. She asked where and what time. I told her that I would just pick the day of whatever I was feeling. Maybe I want Olive Garden or maybe I want to get Chinese takeout. I expressed many times that I don't want to plan anything and just go with the day. Really, I just wanted to go eat what I was feeling that day. This week, she asked me what time, and I told her when we both get home, so like 5 to 6, we can go out. She was frustrated that I wasn't giving her an answer about where to eat, and I told her multiple times it would just be what I was feeling that day. She asked if we needed reservations, and I told her no, multiple times. We will walk in on a Wednesday to a chain restaurant. She asked if I wanted anything fancy, and I told her no, I just wanted a simple night. Yesterday was the issue. I wanted Olive Garden, go home, get some breadsticks, and chill the rest of the night. I got home around 5 and my wife was all dressed up. I asked why, and she said she made reservations for a fancy sushi place in the city. She said it was a surprise and we need to leave in about 20 minutes. Nothing has sounded so unappealing to me in my life. I told her I wanted to go to Olive Garden. We got into an argument about how she spent all this effort to get a reservation. I told her I didn't want any of this. In the end, I left to go to Olive Garden by myself. We got into another argument after I came home. Numerous Spend in the comments says, not the asshole. Your wife didn't spend that effort for you. She did it for herself. She knows that. She's just mad that she didn't get her way. She's 100% in the wrong. Impressive Moments also says, NTA, we got into an argument about how she spent all this effort to get a reservation. All this effort, she made a phone call. You said what you wanted for your birthday, and she decided to ignore that and book something that she wanted to do for your birthday. That is shitty. And Illustrious Stage says, NTA, I'm a planner. Plans make me feel good, but my ex was not, and going with the flow made him happy. So on birthdays or events for him, that's exactly what we did, and I tucked away, sometimes with difficulty. The planner side of me, and events and birthdays for me, he made a plan and tucked away his go with the flow personality, because the biggest thing is being heard and seen on your day. Okay, maybe I'm just feeling sympathetic today, or I'm just bad at this, but I also don't think anyone is really an asshole here either. I think deep down, the girlfriend was still trying to do a nice thing, even if she definitely made plans that were more about what she wanted, and they most likely would have had a good time still. But at the end of the day, if the OP stated clearly that what they wanted on their birthday was the complete opposite of that, it just feels like the girlfriend pushed this in a direction that led to a totally unnecessary fight. But what do you guys think? As always, just let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed my readings of these stories, please make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, just a reminder that I'm always looking for feedback on how to improve the channel. So if you guys have something that you would like to see more of or less of, please do not hesitate to let me know. We'll see you next time.